massage oil or moisturiser or something, but don't worry if you don't need it, but it was kind of fun if you've got it, and we'll start in a minute or two if you want to go and get some. Okay, so so if you've got anything else to make yourself like really comfy, like your favorite jumper or blanket, or frankly, you can do the whole class in your pajamas, whatever you like, candles, can you dim the lights? Anything that can make the space kind of soft and sacred for yourself. Okay, so we're going to start lying down today. And you've got, if you do have pillows, I'd invite you to put one underneath your hips and literally just lie on top of it. And it's a really nice way to sort of elongate through the body. So basically just sit your bum on it, stretch your legs out and lie down. If you want something like higher, you can put two pillows or more underneath. But you might find as the first posture that you just want to be slightly raised. So settling into your first posture, getting nice and comfy. And just with your intention, really, opening sacred space for yourself, thanking yourself for showing up. It's not easy times that we're living in, and showing up for 1 hour of slowing down, of time to connect is a gift. So today's theme is connecting to yourself. So I'm going to ask you to put your hands somewhere on your body that feels nice. Now you might find that you need to scan your body, like the energy fields around your body, to see what needs energy. So for example, your Manipura chakra, which is above the belly button, below the ribs, is your engine room. So if you're feeling like really depleted, you might need to put your hands there and sort of direct like a yellow energy here to try and reinvigorate. Or anywhere on the body that you feel needs your care for yourself, put your hands there, close your eyes and breathe. Breathing nice and deeply. Can you simply focus on your breath? That's much harder than it sounds. But just the sound of yourself breathing, this kind of comforting sound of your aliveness. Can you simply bring your awareness to your own aliveness? Using your hands to give yourself the energy that you need to heal. And I'll start with a quote by Rumi. Love is the whole thing. We are only pieces. Love is the whole thing. We are only pieces. Connecting deep into the body. Let the breath be deep, be long, be slow, be loud. Can you hear yourself breathing? We're going to do a 3-part breathing exercise. So when you're ready, just sucking the air out of the belly, fully exhaling, and then breathing into the belly, just the belly, and then pause. Then breathe into the ribs and pause. And then breathe all the way to the tops of your lungs and pause. And then exhale with control, slowly feeling the air sucking its way out of the lungs, belly down towards the floor. And then inhale into the belly, pause, inhale into the ribs, pause, inhale all the way up to the tops of the collarbones, pause. Exhale slowly with control. Let the breath out steadily. Feel the whole body contract as you exhale. Inhale into the belly and pause. Inhale into the ribs and pause. Inhale all the way to the collarbones and pause. Exhale slowly. One more time all together. Inhale into the belly and pause. Inhale into the ribs and pause. Inhale all the way up to the collarbones. Fill them up, fill them up. Pause. And exhale with control, nice and slowly. Now do this one more time in your own rhythm. And listen to yourself breathing like you would listen to your beloved friend telling you something. Just taking your breath back to your normal breath once you've finished. And just noticing any tiny little shift in your energy. This in yoga, by the way, the breathing exercise is called pranayama, and that means your life force is literally being moved around your physical body with your breath. So when you feel ready, you can bring your knees towards your chest and your hands towards your knees. Now, you might want to take your pillow out, or you might just like it kind of there and see how it feels as you rock from side to side. And then taking the knees in a circle in one direction. Just noticing how nice it feels to be lying on the ground. Like, we never really have an excuse to lie on the ground, but goodness, it's so grounding, so earthing. Take the knees in the other direction. Make the circle quite large so that you can really spread to that space in your lower back against the floor or the cushion. And when you're ready, we're slowly going to come into a box-shaped position. So if you want, you can actually leave your pillow there and place your knees on top of it just for extra comfort. And when you get to your box, we're just going to have a little stretch out of the wrists. So taking your body in a circle, in one direction, slowly though, and gently. Just noticing how your hands feel. Now, you probably haven't had your hands flat like this against the earth all day, or maybe all week. How does that feel? Can you spread your fingers wider? Can you actually root through your hands? Taking the circle in the other direction. Can you feel all four corners of your hands kind of pressing into the floor? So it's not just your wrists, you're spreading the weight through the hands. And then stopping that circle and starting to rock kind of forwards and back. Now, notice what happens here. You might rush, right? But try and slow down and then notice the point where you get to your edge when you come forwards and you're like, I can feel that in my arms, and then pull back. And just play with that kind of subtlety of finding your edge. If you want, you can take your fingertips back towards your body so that the palms are still flat on the floor, but the fingertips are facing you. Now, if that feels uncomfortable, you can change it or just don't do it as you wish. And the same again, you can rock. This time, because this is much more extreme, you'll notice you can't rock as much. So just have a little play with when you get to that edge. And how interesting when you get to the edge, can you approach it with curiosity? How interesting that the forearms feel so stretched here. You probably haven't stretched your forearms all week. Okay, now very gently, just coming out of that pose, that'll probably feel a bit weird coming out of it. And then if you want, you can take your back of the hand down towards the floor with the fingers facing forwards so that the palms, you can actually see them. And similarly, just rock a tiny bit. Now, again, this is quite extreme, sort of unusual, because you're sort of loosening up the muscles and the ligaments and the fascia in the wrist area. But just notice what the body wants to do, maybe a minuscule little circle. And then if you fancy it, you can actually turn your hands to face you so that your palms are facing up and the back of the hands are down and the fingers are facing towards you. Just have a little play there. How does that feel? Can you breathe into it and then releasing those wrists and just maybe shaking them out if you fancy and placing them back on the earth? Can you really spread your fingers now and ground into the earth? Now that you've got that energy kind of buzzing in the hands and the wrist, can you really root down? You're going to take your right foot out behind you so that you're just on your tiptoes of the right foot. And then you're just going to rock your body backwards and forwards. So this time you're breathing into the back of the right leg and the right ankle. Noticing how that feels. Try to use all of your foot. So when you come forwards, try to really open the backs of the toes, if that makes sense. Spread the toes and then really open through the whole foot as you lean yourself forwards. And then when you've had enough of that, taking that right knee down and stretching the left leg out behind you. And again, just using your own weight here, just to pull yourself back and forwards. Does it feel different on one side? Can you use your breath alongside the movement? Can you spread through your toes? Can you feel the opening in the back of the toes? This is super nice to do if you've been on a walk. Just to stretch out the toes here. Now, I don't know about you, but I can start to feel this in my arms because we've been holding our body weight now for a little bit. So just to release that tension in the arms, let's take both knees back down towards the earth. And then we're going to come into puppy pose. So just taking both hands forward And just dropping the chest down towards the floor. So ideally you want your hips above your knees, but it doesn't really matter. The aim is to get this lovely opening around the shoulders. Breathe. If you're really flexible, you can look up, the chin up. Otherwise, you have your forehead down. So just do what feels right for you. Can you send your breath to your armpits? And then coming back into your box-shaped position. Now we are going to come into a downward dog for 30 seconds or so, but I promise you this is the most exertion you'll have, and then we can chill. So tucking the toes, lifting the whole body so that you're taking your hips towards the ceiling, and then start to pedal out the feet. Use all of the feet, use the toes. Notice your body might be clicking like mine is, stretching itself out. It's almost yawning, isn't it? The body is physically yawning when you do a pose like this. And then slowly bringing the knees back down. Now we're going to do some more chilled stuff. So if you've got another pillow, you might want to bring it towards you. We're coming into a box-shaped position. So you want your right leg over your left. Now, this is just how your skeleton is built. Some people find this really easy and they can stack their knees on top of their feet because their skeleton is made like that. Some people will be like this, in which case just use your pillows, stuff one under there, and then lift your seat up with the other pillow by sitting on it so that your hips are raised. If you've got blocks as well, that's really nice to sit on blocks. So you want to find something that works for you. So fidgeting around until something works. You can also, if you don't need the pillows for your knees, you can actually just slide one under your kind of foot and your knee. So it's super nice to use your props as just a support. So use them any way you can. And once you're in this posture, we're going to use our own body to kind of self-massage. So take your right hand like a fist and then place your left hand over it so that your arms are kind of in one, your forearms are like one line. Then take your elbow down to your knee, and you know that fleshy bit that's sort of like where your flesh meets and kind of touches. Just use your elbow to kind of push around in there. See what's going on. Over the course of the next 30 seconds, you're going to keep moving that elbow all the way up your thigh until you get to your hip. So make sure you're doing it in your own time. And you can kind of like use the left hand or the weight of your body to kind of push down into your leg. So it's a kind of form of Thai massage, really. But free, because you get to do it on yourself. And just notice where you get to those points in your leg where you're like, that doesn't feel great. And then you might move it and be like, that feels really great. So just find the parts that feel good. And then when you get to the really like fleshy parts of the hip, you can really kind of dig the elbow in if that feels nice. And then whenever in your own time, you're going to work the elbow back down. So just notice how it feels. And then when you've had enough of that, just sit up straight. We're going to stay in this pose. And if you want, so options, first option is that you just lean forwards and hang for a minute or two. Well, second option is if you've got some kind of oil, you can, just for fun, put it on your hands or moisturiser and just massage into your wrists. If you don't have oil or moisturiser, you can just do that anyway with your own hands. But the theme today is connecting to self. So can you look at your hands if you're doing this and be like, oh, how interesting, that's what my hand looks like. Just bring your attention to simply your hand. How does it feel? How does it feel to actually touch your own hands? Breathe. Hello, hand. I haven't really looked at my hands for a long time. Maybe you want to pull the oil or moisturiser down the forearms. That actually feels really quite nice. I'll tell you what is really nice and slightly weird is massaging oil into your elbows. So I don't know if you've got oil or moisturiser or even just use your hands, but just to kind of use the palm of your hands against your elbow. I'm just noticing how that feels. Might feel silly, that's cool. Okay. Nice. Breathing in, just letting go of any tension, any feelings that you might have, or kind of criticisms or, sinister views. Try to breathe them out. All right, so from here, we're actually coming into pigeon. So you're probably facing this way on your mat. What you want to do is take the right leg, which is the one on top, and very gently take it behind you, very gently. There's no rush. So what's super nice with your pillows here is you stuff one under your left hip. So it kind of lifts you up. And that to me is one of the best supported postures. It's so different from not having a support. It's so nice. You can puff your chest out here if you like, and then start to creep the body down. It's super nice to put a pillow down, like facing long ways, and then lower the body down to somewhere that feels comfortable for you. Now you will be here a good couple of minutes, so get comfy. Get nice and comfy, fidgeting around until you can settle in, you can find the pose. Maybe repeating this mantra after me, either out loud or in your mind, or simply listening if it doesn't resonate. I am accepting myself unconditionally, no matter what. I am accepting myself unconditionally, no matter what. I am accepting myself unconditionally, no matter what. Can you use your breath to help you surrender? Can you feel gravity allowing you to melt down into the earth? Letting go of any tension. Relaxing your face, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your feet, relaxing your hands. So Robert Holden says that your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship you have. Slowing the breath, deepening the breath. Make it loud. Hold yourself accountable with the noise of your breath. And then just listen to the breath. How lovely to take away all kind of external attention grabbing things and just focus on the very thing that keeps you alive, your breath, that brings you into the present moment, that can slow your heart rate, can calm your body, your healing breath. And then slowly start to come out of your pigeon, nice and slowly. There's no rush. There's no rush. When you're ready, you're going to remove that prop from underneath that hip. And then you're going to take that back leg and slowly swing it round to the front. We're coming into Janu Shavasana for a forward bend. So you want the sole of your left foot up against the right thigh. And what's really nice is to sit on one cushion, if you like. That can be really nice. And then have the other one sort of over the top of the leg. Or if you want, you can have both pillows on top of the leg. Don't forget, Yin Yoga doesn't ask for perfect alignment. So whatever your feet want to do, if they want to flop out, let them flop. And then you're going to start to creep down into this forward bend and go through the stages of a yin posture. So testing the pose, fidgeting in the pose, and then finding the pose. And breathe. Breathe into the back of the leg. So Rumi says, let yourself become living poetry. Let yourself become living poetry. So I'm sure everyone interprets that in a different way, but to me it's like you become living poetry when you let your soul become your guide. And you can act on your intuition. And that is the most poetic thing that you could possibly do. And your intuition, it doesn't shout, it doesn't boom, it doesn't scream. It whispers. Are you listening? Breathing in, letting yourself become living poetry in this pose by surrendering, by letting go, by turning your gaze inwards. Just noticing how lovely it feels to be working with your body, not against your body. So I used to do power yoga. That's actually what I trained in 10 years ago. And Ashtanga and all those kinds of yogas. And it's actually so awful to me now because it's like you're disciplining your body in this kind of militant way. I feel that it's very masculine energy, sort of part of the patriarchal way in which society lives. Like this kind of yoga is working with the body, loving the body, loving the self, respecting the self, surrendering. When you're ready, slowly coming out of that posture, nice. And slowly, nice. And slowly. Now take your pillows and put them behind you. If they're bed pillows like mine, then take them lengthways. If they're shorter pillows, put them where about your shoulder blades will be. Now you're going to take the soles of the feet together, but before we lie backwards, we're going to do something quite beautiful for the self, I think, which is touch your own feet. Now, if you do have your oil, take it, put it in your hands, or moisturiser or whatever. You don't need it, you can do it without. Maybe rubbing your hands together if you've got it, and then pressing it into the feet. Now, you don't need any training in massage to actually just intuitively know what feels nice. Now, the theme this week is connection to self. Can you use your hands to push and press on your feet? If you have oil, can you feel your feet drinking it in? Or moisturiser? How lovely to simply touch your own feet. Thank you, feet, for carrying me around all my life. Thank you, feet, for giving me mobility. Interesting. Now, noticing any emotions that come up, can you change them into curiosity and acceptance and love? Robert Holden, who's written a book I've just listened to, an audio book on love. It's really amazing if you're interested in that topic. But his sort of premise to everything is, he always says this, if you think something is missing in your life, it is probably you. If you think something is missing in your life, it is probably you. Meaning, I think what he means is meaning your connection to you. So when you've had enough of that, you're going to lean backwards into your pillows, but just notice how gorgeous it can feel to lie your body down in this kind of like luxurious pillow fest. And maybe you want the chin to lift up into the air so you get this lovely opening in the throat. And then figure out what you want to do with your hands. So I think it's super nice to put your hands down the tops of your trousers because you get to hold your belly, and your hands are probably really warm now. But whatever feels right for you. Close your eyes here and breathe. If you can hear quite a loud snore, that is my cat just behind my laptop, snoring his head off. Breathing in to the belly, into the lungs, into the ribs, into the collarbones. filling up the whole of the front of your body in this beautiful open gesture. Can you gently nudge yourself like a nurturing mother deer towards a spiral path? Just imagining this in your mind. A spiral circular path. And then imagine that these stepping stones in the circular path are lighting up as you step on them, heading towards the center. Imagining the last burnt yellow rays of the day just glowing all around you. Just imagining yourself leading yourself all the way back to yourself. And then when you get there, you're going to welcome yourself home. Home to yourself. Imagining healing energy coming into your throat chakra, Vishuddhi chakra, the place where you express yourself. Can you say things in a truthful way, in a kind way, in an authentic way? And then slowly, slowly you're coming back up, I'm afraid, lifting the body up, because we are going to do those 3 postures on the other side, but no need to rush, no need to rush. So you can take the knees together and sort of stretch out, whatever feels good for you. Try to move slowly though, because there really is no rush. And then we're going to come into this box-shaped position, but this time with the left knee lifted. Now you might find that one knee is really lifted and the other one wasn't. That's also very normal. Now fiddle around with your props, with whatever you've got, but try and do something that feels like your props are supporting you. That's kind of the point, that they hold you, support you. And then from here, similarly, you'll take your left hand into a fist, the right hand around the left, and then use your elbow and the weight of your body to start at that fleshy point by the knee. And you might need to wriggle it around until you find it. And then use your actual weight of your body. So in Thai massage, they use their actual weight rather than, like pushing really hard with your hand and using the muscles in your arms. Can you use your weight? And like we did on the other side, you're just going to slowly take that elbow up the leg, nice and slowly. Just noticing, observing what comes up for you. Some people might like quite a lot of weight, quite a lot of pressure. Some people might like a tiny bit. So exploring, once you've got to the hips, exploring around there, there's a lot of fleshy parts there, so you can really push your elbow in. It can feel super nice. And then you can start to move the elbow back down the leg. just breathe. And if you want to, you can then just reach for your forearms, taking off your watch or whatever you've got on, and then grab your oil again. Maybe this time we'll start at the elbows. Just touching your own elbows. If this doesn't work for you and you don't like it, then you could just lean forwards in this pose, which is also a very nice forward bend. This time we'll just work the other way. So we'll work from the elbows up through the forearms and then into the hands. But can you bring your attention to your hands, just your hands? We're so bombarded with information all of the time. When you're on a screen, you have all these things popping up and you're constantly diverting your attention from one email to one meeting to one sound to your text message to your WhatsApp, and it just goes on and on and on. Can we get rid of all external influences right now and just zone in to your hands? How amazing are your hands? Can we send ourselves unconditional love with our touch? Can we be grateful for our amazing hands and all that they can do, all that they can create? And quite interesting concept, really, but can you look at your own hands and instead of being like, oh, my nails are dirty, or whatever, your hands, whatever's going on for you, and instead just appreciate them without judgment, but with just this deep sense of gratitude and love. Okay, so from here, like we did on the other side, so you're probably facing forwards, you're going to swing that left leg behind you into a pigeon pose. And then you'll definitely want one of your pillows under your right hip. If you've not done that before, it really can change your pigeon pose. And maybe the other one in front of you if you like. And if you like, you can kind of puff up to start with to kind of do a back bend and then start to creep down. But, you know, whatever works for you, only you know what the pose feels like. You are your own best teacher. So surrendering into your pigeon pose. I'm going to read you a poem here. If you've heard it before, because you might have, it's quite famous, just listen to it again with curiosity. Love After Love by Derek Walcott. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, Give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your own life. Can you breathe into your back and feel your back expand as you breathe? Can you feel your ribs contract as you exhale? So Rumi says, do not feel lonely. The entire universe is inside you. Do not feel lonely. The entire universe is inside you. And when you feel ready, you're going to start to come out of this posture. Nice and slowly, taking that pillow out from underneath the hip. You're going to swing the back leg round to the front slowly into Janu Shavasana. So this is the one where you take the sole of your right foot and kind of press it some way or another against the left leg. Get your props. Do what feels right for you, maybe under the seat or maybe on top of the leg. And then you're going to start to creep your body down. And as you sort of start to find this pose, find something that works for you, just be conscious again of your edge. Where is your edge? Have you gone too far deep? Or perhaps you can't feel anything at all. So finding your edge for today, which is different from any other day. Accepting where you are. Sending love and gratitude to your body. So Rumi says, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. So breathing into the river within you, to your soul, to your sense of self, to your home, which is within you, not the physical place that you physically are living in, but actually in you. And breathe into that space, connecting to yourself with your breath. Just letting any tension or woes or worries kind of melt away. Because in the grand scheme of things, they're probably not that important. Use your breath. Can you hear yourself breathe? If not, can you deepen the breath to make it louder? Can you feel your own life force traveling around your wonderful, lovely body? Can you even imagine yourself on the floor right now or wherever you are? Almost seeing yourself from outside, and just notice how lovely you are. Filling yourself up on the love all around you. And as Rumi said, love is the whole. Love is the whole. We are only pieces. And now I'm going to invite you to slowly make your way into your final resting pose. Now, there is no rush, but what you want to do is to make it delicious for yourself. So perhaps you'll want socks. Perhaps you'll want to grab a blanket. Maybe you want to put massage oil somewhere else on the body before you rest. Maybe you need to do something with your body before you go into your final resting pose. Maybe you're called to do something or other, whatever works for you. You might want your pillows under your knees. And actually, you can have them really quite high because it feels really nice. So that your knees are kind of really bent, and make your legs about mat width. That's really super comfortable. And then roll the body down. Settling now into your gorgeous Shavasana resting pose. I'm going to read you some guidance from an oracle card that I pulled for this class. It's Work Your Light Oracle Cards by Rebecca Campbell. And the card is Trust Your Path. The universe is conspiring. Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after another. If you do this, you can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. If you follow the invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. Most people don't follow the highest call of their soul because they are waiting to see the end destination before they take the first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year, you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn your back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Things are not going to work out the way you are planning, but if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could possibly imagine. Don't micromanage the universe. Trust your path and let your soul lead the way. Deepening the breath now. And maybe you'd like to inhale your arms all the way over your head so that you can stretch through the body. Wherever you are, just start to make your way to a comfortable seated position. And then when you get there, we're going to inhale the arms all the way out and up, gathering the energy around us until the palms touch above the head, and then exhale, draw your hands down center point, stopping at your third eye, Ajna chakra. For your sense of self, for your sense of home that lives within your soul, within your intuition, that whispers to you day and night, day and night. Taking your hands down to your throat, Vishuddhi chakra, for your sense of self and your sense of home when you can speak and communicate in alignment with your soul, with yourself, with your truest, highest self. And taking your hands down to your heart and Anahata chakra for the sense of home, the sense of self that lives within your heart, sense of love and compassion and forgiveness for the self. Bowing your head to your hands, think of one thing that you're grateful for today. Inhale, lift the head, fluttering the eyes open. Namaste. Thank you.